That's cool. I love those folk. You know, every time I've hung out with both Sheila and Doug, it's like, I like these people. I just do. Wonderful folk. Well, Christine and her brothers too. You know, they're amazing people. Yeah. Okay, we'll see what happens here. Morning.
Now, where was I? Welcome to Unity of New Westminster. I am Barb Good, and I am your platform host today. Today is a special day, and I am happy to welcome Tom Arntzen to Unity of New Westminster as our guest musician today.
Thank you.
Please stand and join us as we sing our opening song, The Sound of Music.
The hills are alive with the sound of music, with songs they have sung for 1,000 years. The hills fill my heart with the sound of music. My heart wants to sing every song it hears. My heart wants to beat like the wings of the birds that rise from the lake to the trees. My heart wants to sigh like a chime that flies from the church on the breeze, to laugh like a brook when it trips and falls over stones on its way, to sing through the night like a lark who is no
Tom. Thank you.
Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of New Westminster on this really special day when we get to sing along to some of our favorite music on the entire planet. I am Reverend Rhona, and it is my pleasure to welcome you all here today and to welcome Tom Arntzen as our musician. I've had the pleasure of hearing Tom a few times in the past, and I'm so excited that you are here, Tom. Thank you for being here.
I'm excited to be here. Oh, it just came back on.
It came back on. It must be a loose wire.
Poltergeist.
Pardon? Poltergeist. Yeah, it's Halloween time. That's what it is. Yeah. I want to welcome all of you here. Thank you for being here. And for you who are joining us at home, either now live or sometime in the future, a very warm welcome from each of us here at Unity in New Westminster. Glad that you are watching us. The Unity movement offers ideas for full and abundant living. We draw on the teachings of Jesus, who we consider our primary way shower and example. And just a to what? Mic 2. Let me come and get it. Barb will bring it back for you. Shenanigans. What movie is that from? Princess Bride.
Oh.
Isn't it
Yeah,
the Princess
that's a great
Bride?
movie.
Thanks, Lau. Let me shut this one off. Test. Ooh. Shenanigans. So where were we? The Unity movement and Unity in New Westminster. Here we offer ideas for full and abundant living. Primarily, we draw on the teachings of Jesus because we consider Jesus to be our example. And we see that there is wisdom to be found in faith traditions all over the planet. There is wisdom to be found in story and, as you will discover later today, in song. And we honor every person's right to choose their own life path, to choose their own spiritual path. All are welcome here. All are worthy here. All are celebrated here. And our goal is to help people to create lives which are more calm, more connected, and more contented. Let us begin our service in a time of prayer. We are so grateful that we gather here today on the traditional and unceded territory of the Kakite First Nation. And we give thanks for First Nation peoples everywhere, for their love of this land. We give thanks that we can come together as a community of love, of support, of connection, to learn together, to laugh together, to sing together, and to be open to new ideas that will add to our lives, bring joy and fulfillment. We lean into the idea that there is only one power. That power is understood by many names. Some call that power God. Others, Allah, Yahweh, Creator, the universe, Mother Nature, Gaia. life, the force, quantum, atheism. By whatever name we understand the creative power that brings us here today to be. We lean into the idea that it is only one power, that there is no spot that God is not. And in that understanding, we realize that we are included. There is no spot that God is not, including each one of us. And it is in that creative energy that we are all connected, that we are all interconnected. And we realize that what one does affects all. And so we choose to love and uplift and send a blessing for peace, for wisdom, for healing to every being on this planet. We see beneath the labels to our shared humanity. And we love and we uplift, knowing that our intention makes a difference. And for this knowing, for this intention, and for this power, we are so grateful. Amen. Today we're going to do things a little differently because we're doing a sing-along sound of music. And so we're going to have all of the announcements up front so that as the service progresses, as the program progresses, there will be no interruption at all. And we'll just sing songs and then hear a few words about those songs and sing songs and hear a few words about those songs. And that will be the way the rest of our service will go. We will end, as we always do, with the peace song. And so we'll just flow with it all. And so I'm going to invite Barb to come up here and share the daily word with us.
Today is Grace, Sunday, October the 22nd, 2023. I walk in grace and peace today. I give thanks for the activity of God in my life that appears as grace. The divine gift manifests as the beauty of the world and the people in it, and as the comforting presence of God within and around me each day. I do not have to do anything to earn grace because it does not result from my attitude or actions. It flows from the infinite love of God within every person and surrounding every circumstance. It is the indwelling presence that sustains me in challenging times and lifts me in good times. I accept grace with gratitude when I have stumbled along life's path and received unexpected blessings. This boundless love fills my heart and bliss and peace. I live in the presence of infinite love, believing each unfolding event in my life is leading me to my highest good. My grace is sufficient for you. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9.
Thank you. Would you like to do the announcements too?
I'm having trouble with some of the words.
Lyle can help you.
Okay.
He can be your buddy.
Okay. I hope you have fun and a rewarding experience singing along and listening to some commentaries today. After the service, you are invited to stay for pizza lunch. Then a workshop between 1 and 3. Donation of $20 is suggested but optional.
Please join us in person or on Zoom for our Monday meditation and prayer service. It's a time of rest, renew, and reset, and it's a time to read the names of the people on our prayer list and to bless all people. If you would like to add your name to the list, please please fill in a prayer request and place it in the offering basket, or send us an email, or submit a prayer request on our website. We leave the names on our list for 2 months, then we forward the names to Silent Unity, which is Unity's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week prayer vigil and prayer phone line in Unity Village near Kansas City, Missouri.
Join us on Zoom on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. for Wisdom Wednesdays for the discussion about previous Sunday's message. We explore and share ideas in a safe, confidential space. The Zoom link is on the website, in the weekly email, and on the app. And if you aren't able to join on a computer, you can also call in on a phone. A replay of the talk can be found on our website and on our app. But if you don't have time to watch the talk, feel free to join anyway. No prior preparation is needed, and the discussions are enriching and enlightening.
We had so much fun last year that we decided to do it again. Please plan to join us on Sunday, October 29th for our annual Halloween costume potluck party. Dress up, bring food, and if you can, stay for Cindy's Creative Cafe and karaoke. The Sunday program will be fun for all ages, so feel free to bring your young people.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's time for the annual Purdy's Chocolates fundraiser. After our best ever year of sales last year, our amazing Cindy Noble is heading up the campaign for us again. Thank you, Cindy. And you can place your orders by phone or email or by going to purdys.com and joining the group. Our group number is 15455, and the QR code is on your screen. Order deadline is Monday, November the 27th, and orders will be ready to pick up after Monday, December 13th, and until December 22nd. We receive 20% of the sales, and people who order receive a coupon for 20% off all the Purdy's Chocolates orders in the following year. Let's do better than our best. The world needs more chocolate.
Thank you, Barb. Thank you, Barb. Yes, the world needs more chocolate. So we begin. A little bit about the history of the sound of music first, and how this idea came to be for me. So I had been preparing many years ago now. I had been preparing a talk on the 5 basic principles of unity. And I was also taking a course on the metaphysical interpretation of Scripture. And at the same time, I heard on the radio, just sort of, it was all at the same time, that it was the 50th at that time anniversary of the Sound of Music. And so it was playing in the background, and as I was listening and I was thinking about these principles and thinking about metaphysical interpretation and metaphorical interpretation, which are just big words for things that we see around us and how they can represent something different, and things that can represent things inside of us. And I was listening to these words and realized that they were so very clever, and that there was so much wisdom in the words of the Sound of Music. And so today we have an excuse not just to sing along with some really fun and enduring songs, but we also have a chance to look at them a little differently and to perhaps take some meaning from them that we can carry with us as we sing these songs in the future. The movie itself was released in 1965, so it is now 58 years old. It is, or was, the 5th highest grossing film of all time. Isn't that amazing? It was also the last work of Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein II. And it is loosely based on a true story, which is what makes it even more inspiring. 19-year-old Maria von Trapp was actually a novice in training to become a nun in an abbey in Salzburg in the early 1930s. And the abbess sent her to become a tutor to the children of a widowed naval commandant named Georg von Trapp. So that part is all true. The family became well known as the von Trapp family choir, and in real life, they won first place in the Salzburg Music Festival in 1936. They also were traveling across the country. And in 1938, when the Nazis annexed Austria, they realized that they were on thin ice, as it were, because they did not agree with the values of this new regime. Georg, just as in the movie, refused to fly the Nazi flag on their home. He also declined to accept a naval command invitation, and he declined a request to sing at Hitler's birthday party. They made that difficult decision to leave Austria, realizing that they were worried about their family. And so just as in the movie, they left. But this is where the movie takes on a bit more of a romantic theme, because what happened in real life is that they took a train and they left the country. They moved first to Switzerland, They took a train first to Italy, and then they traveled on to the United States, where they bought a farm. And they settled in Vermont, in a farm, where they then ran a music camp for people. So that's some of the background of the movie itself and the musical itself. And now let's just take a look at the words and the meaning behind the sound of music, this song that we just sang. In the song, the lyrics are, "The hills are alive, songs they have sung for 1,000 years. The hills fill my heart. My heart wants to sing. I go to the hills when my heart is lonely, knowing that when I go to the hills, my heart will be blessed." So here are some ideas to think about. Hills, mountains, always represent something higher. You've often may have heard the song, "I'll Take the High Road." Michelle Obama, "When they go low, I'll go high." High always represents a more loving, expansive, open, accepting outlook. And in numerous references in Scripture, we see that the hills represent a place where we become in closer connection to God or to nature or to the idea that we are part of one. So they become a place where we remember our experience and connection with creative power, divine, God, nature, life. Music represents vibrations of harmony, of beauty. And when we sing, we feel uplifted. Music has been proven to make you feel better, even when you sing the blues. When you sing, you increase oxygen to your brain. This improves your mental ability. It increases your feel-good hormone, dopamine. And so we feel more connected, more in harmony with ourselves, a place of upliftment and joy. And what I find interesting is the third part of this is our hearts. Our hearts wants to sing. Our heart wants to sing. Well, our hearts are our inner longing, aren't they? We long for calm, for contentment, for connection. We long for love. We long for being a part of community. And the idea of this going to the hills, going to this enduring mountain to find peace and joy because our hearts long for that connection is the meaning of this song. So whenever we are feeling lonely or isolated, we can remember this song. We can remember to go to the hills, because it is in the hills, in the higher places, that we will find this more expansive view. We'll be restored, and we'll sing once more. Next. From now on, we'll do commentary song. I just wanted to do that one for you. So the next song we're going to sing will be How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria? And as you'll see in these lyrics, we see in the picture, Maria is always running late, I can identify. And she dashes. She hears the bells ringing and realizes she's supposed to be back at the Abbey, and she's been goofing off on the mountain and enjoying nature. And while she's there, the nuns are gossiping. The nuns are gossiping, talking about Maria and what a problem this girl is. And so they start labeling her with all of these labels. A flipperty-gibbet, an angel, a demon, a clown, a will-o'-the-wisp. And they go from everything lovely to everything not so much. And what's interesting is they are nuns. You'd think they would know better. What do we take from this? We take from it, in my view, that it is a predictable human reaction for us to label. So let's not be too hard on ourselves when we find ourselves labeling. And let us remember that the labels are about us, not about the other person. I saw a T-shirt once that said, "Your opinion of me tells me more about you than it does about me." And so we see these nuns all with different opinions about the same person. And let that be a reminder to us that those ideas are subjective. They aren't necessarily true. And they are creating a sense of false community with these nuns. Because you know what? If they're talking about Maria, it means that they're not focusing on themselves. So think about when you are making judgments and labeling about someone else. Is it just a way of deflecting from your own inner time with yourself? And then we see one person say, "I'd like to say a word on her behalf." Courage to stand up. And then the wisdom of the Mother Abbess, who says, she's all of those things and none of those things. She's just a girl. One of the most powerful things that we can do when we are labeling someone is to put the word "sometimes" after our label. Sometimes she's an angel, sometimes she's not so much. Because we are all, at times, angels and devils and will-o'-the-wisps and clowns. It is part of our human experience because we're people. So let's stand and sing this lovely song, all about judgment and about remembering she's a girl. How do you solve a problem like Maria?
She climbs a tree and scrapes her knee. Her dress has got a tear. She waltzes on her way to mass and whistles on the stair. And underneath her wimple she has curlers in her hair. I've even heard her singing in the Abbey. She's all laugh. How do you solve a problem like Maria? How do you catch a cloud and pin it down? How do you find a word that means Maria? A flippity-jibbit with a wisp, a clown. Many a thing you know you'd like to tell her. Many a thing she ought to understand. But how do you make her stay and listen to all you say? How do you keep a wave upon the sand? Oh, how do you solve a problem like Maria? How do you hold a moonbeam in your hand? When I'm with her, I'm confused, out of focus and bemused, and I never know exactly where I am. Unpredictable as weather, she's as flighty as a feather. She's a darling, she's a demon, she's a lamb. She'll pester every pest, drive a hornet from his nest. She could throw a whirling dervish out of world. She is gentle, she is kind, she's a riddle, she's a child, she's a headache, she's an angel, she's a girl. How do you solve a problem like Maria? How do you catch a cloud and pin it down? How do you find a word that means Maria? A gibbety-gibbet, a will-o'-the-wisp, a clown. Many a thing you know you'd like to tell her. Many a thing she ought to understand. But how do you make her stay and listen to all you say? How do you keep a wave upon the sand? Oh, how do you solve a problem like Maria? How do you hold a moonbeam in your hand?
Next, we take a look at the song, My Favorite Things. This is an example of Unity's third principle, that how we experience life is a result of how we think about the experiences in our life. And in the song, My Favorite Things, just to set the stage for you, the children are scared because of a storm which has come into town, and it has lots of thunder and lightning. And Maria distracts them from their fear. Notice, she doesn't ask them to deny that they are afraid. What she says, though, is, come on in. I see that you're scared. Come here to a place of comfort. And then she essentially changes the channel by asking them what their favorite things are. And the reason this works is because when we are in a place where we start thinking differently, where we start especially thinking of our favorite things, we literally change our heart rate, and that literally changes our brain waves. It brings everything else into calm when our hearts are calm. That's a scientific thing, thanks to Heart Math Institute, that has helped us to understand that when our hearts are calm, everything else in our bodies calm down as well. And one of the best ways to calm our hearts down is to think of things that make us smile. One of my favorite verses in Scripture is from Paul's letter to the Philippians, which I said to you a couple of weeks ago as well. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think on these things. And yet, we all feel fear at times. We all feel worry at times. We all feel nervous at times. And one of the best ways to help ourselves get out of that is not to pretend that that's not so, but also not to camp there. I'll never forget the movie Bridge of Spies with Tom Hanks, one of my favorite actors anyway. And he speaks to someone who is about to be found guilty of being a spy. And this guy is very calm. And Tom Hanks says to him, "Why are you worried? Why aren't you looking more worried?" And he says 3 words which can transform your life. Will it help? Will it? When we think of our favorite things, it helps us to get away from being stuck in that place where we can't stop thinking about the things that could go wrong. But their fear was never going to help the storm get any better. The storm is what is in our lives. And sometimes, oh my gosh, does it rain and thunder and lightning. And so in our lives, when those storms happen, let us go to a place that feels safe. And let us think about our favorite things, just to help us to shift from that pattern of worry, of fear, of distress. My favorite things. Then you won't feel so bad.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, white copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and streusel with noodles, wild goose that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into springs. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad.
So as a result of these children coming and being with Maria. And her establishing trust with them. She becomes part of their household. And one of the things she does is she wants to teach them to sing. And she wants to teach them not just to sing, but to understand music. So she teaches them do, re, mi. Well, for those of you who don't know, do, re, mi is the language of tonic solfa, which is just a brilliant, sounds so great, doesn't it? My grandfather used to have a hymn book that was written in tonic solfa. And do, re, mi, typically you think of do as being the letter C on the keyboard, and then re is D, and so on. But the thing that's nice about do, re, mi is that if you're in a different key, those same relationships will apply. So that's the beauty of tonic solfa. I digress. The thing that was cool about it was once I figured that out, I actually taught myself to play piano using my grandfather's old hymn book, which I wish I could find now. But what happens is, do, you think of it as the letter C on the keyboard, re, D, and so on. And what happens is that the children don't know anything about it. It's like, have you ever tried teaching someone something that's complicated and then ask them to remember? One of the best ways to do that is to put it to music. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Did you realize that? My very educated mother just served us 9 no more P's because Pluto doesn't count anymore. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter. Violet, indigo, blue and green, yellow, orange and red, the colors of the rainbow. We have these things, they're called mnemonics, that help us to remember things. And sometimes the best way to remember them is to put them to song. And so what Maria does is teach them do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, by not just the letters, but also the interval. So do, mi is really a third. So she's teaching them skills without them even realizing that they're learning. And so that's the first part of the song. And then the next part is one of the children says, it doesn't mean anything. And she says, when you know the notes to sing, you can sing anything. And that is the beauty of this song, is it teaches us that if we know the principles and we can take those principles in and we can apply them in practice, then we can respond to anything in our lives. And in Unity, we have 5 principles. And nobody remembers what they are. So I decided on the way home from Whistler, poor Walt driving, had to listen to me working this out, to put our principles into song, and I put it to the Happy Birthday tune. You will find it in your welcome packages in a little business card, which I invite you to take, and if you want a magnet, we've got those too. Here are our principles. One universal power, a network of all. Ideas lead to experiences. Take time to be still. You'll live in peace. Our principles are one power, that we're all interconnected, that how we think about our experiences of life will affect how we experience life. That it is important then to focus our attention and take time to be still. And that it's not enough to know these, but to live them. And then because it doesn't mean anything unless we put it in practice, I did the second verse, which is how to put it into practice. Which is, when peace isn't there, take time to be still and question your thinking. What other idea could add more peace? Do, re, mi is a reminder that if you know the principles and you know the notes to sing, that you can respond to anything. You can sing most anything. Do, re, mi.
Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. When you read, you begin with A, B, C. When you sing, you begin with Do, Re, Mi. Do, Re, Mi. Do, Re, Mi. The first blue notes just happen to be Do, Re, Mi. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. All right, I'll make it easier. Do, a deer, a female deer. Re, a drop of golden sun. Me, a name I call myself. Fa, a long, long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread. La, a note to follow. So, G, a drink with jam and bread. That will bring us back to Do, oh, 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 Do. A deer, a female deer. Re, a drop of golden sun. Fi, a name I call myself. Fa, sol, la, ti, re. That will bring us back to Do. A deer, a female deer. Re, drop of golden sun. Mi, a name I call myself. Fa, long, long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread. La, a note to follow. So, T, a drink with jam and bread. That will bring us back to Do. Do, re, mi, fa, ti, do, so, do.
How many people sang that in the car when they were kids? Yeah. Remember those days when we didn't have devices and we would actually have to entertain ourselves by singing in the car? Oh, I'm starting to sound old. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So now we come to a really interesting song, 16 going on 17. When I was a teenager, oh my God, did I want to be Liesel. I had dark hair. I even had a little dress. It didn't have a blue satin sash, but it was white. And I just thought this was the most romantic song ever. The idea that some knight in shining armor would come along and take care of me. And then sometime, not that long ago, like in the last 10 years, I was telling someone about this song, and they said, yeah, you know, codependency. I'm like, really? Like, talk about busting a bubble. And then I thought, okay, what is the song really saying? And of course, what it was really saying is, I care about you and I want to protect you. And the other person saying, I love that you care about me. And I want you to be a part of my life. And yet, isn't it true that sometimes we give away some of our power to people because they want to take care of us? Isn't it true that sometimes we care so much about other people that we want to take care of them? And sometimes it doesn't come from a place which is educated or loving, true loving. It may be instead that it is from a place of, I know better for you. And in this song, what we see is that in offering to take care of a 16-year-old, this 17-year-old, hello, sows fear. You don't know how to do this. I know how to do this. You don't know. You are vulnerable. They're going to take advantage of you unless I'm here. The key to this question for me isn't so much the idea of wanting to take care of each other and to show love by taking care of each other, or show love by accepting the care of another. The key is, if I choose not to accept it, will you love me too? One of Shakespeare's most brilliant quotes: love is not love which alters when it alteration finds. Fancy words, which means love is not love if it changes when the other person changes. So the other person says no and you say, I'm out, then perhaps it wasn't love. Maybe it was a contract. And so I don't mean to completely bust your bubble, as I had mine busted, but rather to be aware that sometimes we accept advice and opinions and how we should be in the world from people who aren't that much more equipped than we are. And so let us remember to keep our own power and to choose who we share that power with, rather than depending on other people and giving it all away. What if we could choose power with and choose to be together? So sing this song, enjoy the song, and realize that sometimes we are lethal, wanting someone to take care of us and giving ourselves away. Sometimes we are Rolf, Sometimes we are the person insisting that we are the ones who know better. And the truth is, sometimes. 16 going on 17.
You wait, little girl, on an empty stage for fate to turn the light on. Your life, little girl, is an empty page that men will want to write on, to write on. You are 16, going on 17, baby, it's time to think. Better beware, be canny and careful, baby, you're on the brink. You are 16, going on 17, fellows will fall in line. Eager young lads with blue ways and cats will offer you food and wine. Totally unprepared are you to face the world of men. Timid and shy and scared are you of things beyond your ken. You need someone older and wiser telling you what to do. I am 17, going on 18. I'll take care of you. I am 16, going on 17. I know that I'm naive. Fellows I meet may tell me I'm sweet. Willingly I'll believe. I am 16, going on 17. Innocent as a rose. Bachelor dandies, drinkers of brandies. What do I know of those? Totally unprepared am I to face a world of men. Timid and shy and scared am I of things beyond my ken. I need someone older and wiser telling me what to do. You are 17, going on 18. I'll depend on you.
Just remember, we play both of those characters. So Maria realizes that she's in love. And she becomes afraid of this idea. So, looking for the comfort of the known, she goes back, runs away, and goes to the abbey and lets the mother abbess know that she wants to come back. And the abbess says no. And the abbess basically says, you've found a dream. Have the courage to follow it. Have you ever had a dream that you've not had the courage to follow? Have you ever gotten to a point of wonder at a new experience, and it's so overwhelmingly scary that you want to run back to the familiar, even though that familiar didn't always work well for you? a quote from the movie Grumpy Old Men. The only thing in this life that you regret are the risks you didn't take. What if we could know that it is what Jesus said is, it is your Father's joy to give you the keys to the kingdom. What if you could know that it was okay to be great, that it was okay to be loved and to love? What if you could know that it was okay to be joyfully and blissfully happy? And sometimes what it means is that it's going to be uncomfortable. And that is why you want to climb every mountain.
Climb every mountain, search high and low, follow every byway, every path you know. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow, till you find your dream, a dream that will need all the love you can give every day of your life, for as long as you live. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow, till you find your dream. Perhaps I had a wicked childhood. Perhaps I had a miserable youth. But somewhere in my wicked, miserable past, I must have been a moment of truth. For here you are, standing there, loving me, whether or not you should. So somewhere in my youth or childhood, I must have done something good. Perhaps I had a wicked childhood. Perhaps I had a miserable youth. must have been a moment of truth. For here you are standing there loving me, whether or not you should. So somewhere in my youth or childhood, I must have done something good. Nothing comes from nothing, nothing ever could. So somewhere in my youth or childhood, I must have done something good.
So would you close your eyes with me for a moment as we just take those ideas into a time of meditation. Perhaps you've had a wicked childhood. Perhaps you had a miserable youth. What if you could know that you are something good? What if you could know that you need not be defined by those things that you sometimes label unpleasant, unacceptable, miserable, wicked? What if you could hold on to the idea that the moment of truth is that you were born and you are a blessing to the world? What if you could see those experiences as gifts that helped you be who you are today? That helped to form who you want to be? And what if you could sing that song to every part of yourself? What if you could know that just like the wildflower that grows through the snow on the mountainside, that at your core, that you are pure, that you are bright, that you are lovely, just as Edelweiss grows naturally from the mountain, so we too are extensions and expressions from the power that we call God. And as we sing Edelweiss, let us consider singing this song as a love song to ourselves. That every morning when we look in the mirror, that we are happy to see ourselves. That we have done something good simply by being. And that, like blossoms of snow, we long to bloom and grow. We are pure, we are white, we are bright, we are clean. We are Edelweiss.
Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright. You look happy to meet me. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow, bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss,
And we come to the end of our program for the Sound of Music. Remember, we started with the discussion about the song, "The Hills Are Alive." A reminder to look up beyond our physical appearances, to move to a higher level of consciousness in everything we do. Then we moved to how do you solve a problem like Maria? A reminder that labels are sticky and they can be removed. And our goal is to recognize humanness rather than labels. Then we moved to my favorite things, a reminder that how we think and what we focus on affects our world and affects our experience of life. We sang Do, Re, Mi to remind us that basics matter, and that when we know what our values are and we practice them, then we can live them and sing any song. Then we moved to 16, going on 17, a reminder to allow people to make their own choices and support with them, rather than have power over or give power. And then we followed with Climb Every Mountain, a song which reminds us that it's okay to follow our dream. And Tom sang us that beautiful song. Knowing that it doesn't matter whether we had a horrible childhood or any other adverse experience, that what matters is that we exist. That we've done something good just by being here. And we ended with Edelweiss, that wildflower that grows naturally out of the mountain. A reminder for each one of us that we are natural expressions of the mountain, growing out of the mountain. And let us sing love songs to ourselves, to see the beauty in each one of us. If you're feeling sad, go to the hills. If you're feeling judgmental, remember Maria. If you're feeling scared, remember your favorite things. If you falter, go back to the basics, to Do, Re, Mi. If you're unsure, remember to trust in whatever brings you joy and climb every mountain. Remember, if you are feeling unworthy, then you've done something good because you are here. And when you're feeling separated, remember that you are like Edelweiss, a natural expression that pours out of the mountain. Let us sing as our final song, The Sound of Music, one more time. Go to the hills. Go to the hills. I bless you. Shall we stand?
The hill silver stones on its way to sing through the night like a lark who is learning to pray. I go to the hills when my heart is lonely. I know I will hear what I've heard before. My heart will be blessed with the sound of music, and I'll sing once more.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. I know that we've got the peace song and Light of God queued up, so we'll do that in a moment because I've never been able to get this crew to leave without singing it. I've tried a few times. I'm like, okay, we're out of time. Everybody won't do it until they do that. So before we do that, though, a very, very, very grateful thank you to you, Tom Arntzen. What an amazing musician. I am so, so blessed that you are here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to our audio-visual team and to all of you for being here. Please plan to stay for pizza, and then we're going to do a workshop where we'll take a little bit of a deeper dive into some of these songs. You're most welcome to stay for food or for, my brain is gone, for food and or workshop, whatever is most comfortable for you. Both are going to be fun. Pizza is always fun, and workshops can be really fun too. So I hope that you all stay, and shall we move into a circle? I'm sorry? Oh, the offering. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Allison's got the basket. Yeah, let's kind of just pass it. Let's just put it at the table, and people can do that as they leave. How about that? Thank you all. We are all so grateful because we are all so blessed. Thank you, Tom.